Hello, welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy. We are here on Sunday Stitching. Now we should be doing our hexagonal book or a hexagon book, but as Christmas is drawing close, I need to get this finished. So I thought I'd bring you along. We'll discuss what I've done and then we'll do some work on it. So since you were here last, I've been round and I've basically put a blanket stitch on every one of those petals. And I did it in 3 different pinky red colours and also 2 different greens. And then I've got beads and felt in the centre with French knots. And I just started doing a bit of the leaf work that I'd drawn on in pencil. I don't think I'm going to put the berries on, if I'm honest, mainly because I'm running out of time. I think I'm just going to do the leaves. So, as you can see, I've got a needle and threads pinned in here from when I did this one. So, what I did for the centre, here's a clever little tip for you. I took some felt and I took my single hole punch and I just punched out some circles like so. And they don't come all the way because being fabric, but it is just one tiny simple little snip that goes, and then you've got these beautiful little circles. Because I don't know about you, but I definitely couldn't cut circles this small and them be circles. So I thought, do you know what? That's the answer. And it's worked perfectly well because, well, I don't even know how small they are. How small are they? They're like 1/2 centimetre. So, you know, they're not very big at all. And I just thought I'd go around this small piece of felt, pull out, oh, now that one has actually come all the way. Whoops. I didn't realise I still had papers in there, but that one came all the way. So how many did I do last time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 3 there. 4, 5, 6. There's one gone inside. We pull that out in a minute. So I don't know about you, but I thought that was really quite nifty. And much easier than trying to sit and cut out. There it is. Tiny circles. And I mean, I've got a lot of circle dies, but I haven't even got a die that small. Right, I think 2, 4, 6, 7. One more. Let's get it up there. There it is. 8. So there's my little, I suppose they're like the tops of stamens, if you like. And then I just took, as you can see, this bright yellow thread and I did little French knots in the middle to hold them down, and then I filled some of that centre cap with some gold beads. So making sure that we've only got the 2 layers that we actually want, and coming in there because that's where I've landed. Just gonna come through the centre and move those ones. And of course, because they're felt, they semi stick together, so you don't really lose them. And then I just did 4 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps straight down there and through. You all know how to do a French knot, I'm sure. And then just pulled it tight, and then you've got that yellowy hint in the middle as well. I just thought it made for an interesting change, really. And obviously it made my life that bit easy. Oh, yeah, that bit easier. least I thought it did. And it's nature, so if they're slightly off, it doesn't really matter. You know, if you don't quite get your needle in that centre spot, centre sweet spot, doesn't really matter. Nature's always a little bit offset, isn't it? And then every couple I just did like a nothing stitch, just to make sure it was all nice and solid. I mean, they're pretty flat, so it's not going to get too much bashing, but it is a pouch, it is going to get used, so we do want to make sure that it's secure. So that's what I did. Trying to sort of just put them roughly at the bottom of the petals. I'm not being too specific. I mean, in this drawing they've been done in like a perfect circle. That just doesn't feel right to me somehow. 2, 3, 4. So I'm not doing it, and that's that basically. So just gonna do some stitching today. I doubt I'll get it finished, because even if we get all the stitching finished, it then needs, you know, to be lined and made up into the actual pouch, which is why I thought better not do any hexagons today, better get on with it. So becomes a very busy time of year, doesn't it? And it's bad enough when you're trying to rush out and about and buy presents, but when you're trying to make them as well. So, and obviously tomorrow is the 1st of December, so depending on whether you're seeing the people you're gifting to or you need to get them in the post. I mean, I'm sure the 1st of December you've probably all but missed international post, regardless of what country you're in. I don't know. I'm not sending anything internationally this Christmas, so I'm not, you know, fully aware of it. Now it looks like we need some more for this side. It's got a much bigger centre than the other one, because I believe 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, it's only 7. Have I lost one? Oh, we've lost one. Unfortunately, I've got more felt, but I think I'm going to need more than one anyway. So, because we're going to want one there and 1 or 2 there. So, oh, there it is. Look, there's the one that I lost. So I'm going to do another 2 just to be on the safe side. 1, 2, and pop that one on the needle, because I've already poked the needle through. It's a little bit like sewing sequins on, really. So how are you all? I know our American friends are on Thanksgiving weekend, aren't they? I don't know if there's any other countries that do Thanksgiving. Does Canada do it, or is it just an American thing? I don't know. I should have looked that up, I suppose, shouldn't I? But there's nothing really. And of course it's because of Thanksgiving, I believe, that we have all the Black Friday stuff going on. Did you get yourself some bargains? I must admit, I'm never drawn into things like that for the sake of spending. I mean, if I had things to buy anyway, that was, you know, and I could get them through that, save, you know, 20-30% or even more. That's brilliant. There you go. It's more of a coil, mine, isn't it? And I'm just going to do a couple of dead stitches to like fix it, and then we're going to put some beads in. Now this one was much smaller and I put like 4 beads in there. I think we're going to want more than 4, aren't we? So yeah, I did get a few things, but only because they were things that I needed to buy anyway. Turn it round so my beads are this side. And I'm using these little glass golden beads. I have actually got some tiny red ones there. Maybe we'll put some red ones in as well. I did mean the other one, but I suppose I've still got time if I want to. And then I'm just doing a little stitch. I'm only going through once for these. I suppose you could go through 2 or 3 times if you wanted to. And I'm spreading them about, as you can see. It's just to get a little bit of sort of Christmas bling on it, really. I mean, poinsettia is very Christmassy, isn't it? That's just a piece of that petal showing through there. I did say originally about I wasn't sure whether I would put beads or stitches in here. Well, we've sort of ended up with both, haven't we? Because we've got those lovely little felt circles, and then we've got some beads as well. I think I will actually put a couple of red ones in, just for the sheer hell of it, really. You know? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a stylised flower, isn't it? It's not a real flower. Oops, my threads come out. Right, let's thread this back up. So I think, you know, if it's not totally accurate. Wow, did you see that? That was a quick thread, wasn't it? Goodness me, Claire. If it's not totally accurate, I don't think it matters. You can definitely see, I think, what it's intended to be in its stylised form. And I think that's good enough, really. Right. Okay. So I think that's going to do me for gold, and I might just put 1 or 2 red ones in there, just because that's quite a big area. I mean, I could put some more of those little brown circles. What do we think? Let's put 1, because otherwise that's a lot of beads to fill that up, isn't it? And hey, we're designing as we go, remember, so we can do what we like. So, how's your Christmas planning going? Are you ready? Are you going away? Got big groups of family coming to you, or even small groups, but you know, are you charged with making Christmas perfect for everybody else? I remember a time when that was my job, not anymore, but there was a time when that was my job. And over the years, now we've got a loopy French knot because I didn't hold on to that thread properly. So I'm just going to cheat and pull it back down through to make sure it's not going to pull the whole thing off. See, now that I've put that in there, I'm not sure that I need red beads. I'm going to put another gold bead just there, and I'm going to leave it without the red, same as the other side. See? Designing as we go. So yeah, over the years I gradually pushed that. I've lost that bead now. There it is. Pushed that job to one side. So tends to be my youngest daughter that does it now. Which is nice. Means I get to just go and play with the grandchildren basically. We won't be going Christmas Day. We leave the families to themselves for Christmas Day. Hubby and I will be nice and quiet here. But then it's the days around that we all get together. Okay. So now let's get some more of these leafy. I tried to make it like sprigs of a pine tree that we usually bring in at Christmas. So I think, I know I keep turning it around, sorry if you're going both-eyed, but I have a line that runs sort of there, and I just literally did long drag stitches like that. Dead straight lines. Yeah, and then one through the centre. And then maybe one there. I feel like they should always be in threes. To me, nature's always in 3s and 5s. Yep. And then maybe one there. And sort of one through the middle there. So we've got 2 on there and 2 on there in different places, just for added interest. And as I say, all I did was a straight line and sprigs. So you're going to tell me off. Oh no, you're not. I thought I had great long length on that needle. Thought I was going to get told off again. However, I do seem to have this thread in a horrendous knot. Now this thread is variegated, so it's beautiful because it drags a little bit of brown through every now and again. And of course, when you look at pine tree, I've actually got one. I'm growing my Christmas tree. We bought a baby one last year, about 3 foot. And it had a root ball on it. And we had it, you know, in a pot with earth. It went into the garden. I've been growing it all year. So when the time comes, about a fortnight, that will come indoors for the duration, and then it will go back out and grow a bit more for next year. So I'm just doing a standard back stitch, picking up the centre line that I drew, not worrying if it's not too straight, because I've never known a branch that was completely straight, have you? It's got a little, so yeah, it's been fascinating to watch this tree grow, to be honest. We've had a real tree most Christmases. Sometimes for whatever reason, and then I'm just going to come down slightly on the skew and draw in these little sort of pines like that. Yeah, for whatever reason we may have had, and I have got an artificial one that we keep for such times, but in the main we like a real treat. I love the smell of it. I don't have an open fire anymore, but we always did, and the best thing to me was 12th night when we used to bring the tree down and burn it on the fire, because you know, you got some free warmth for a good few hours, but also as the oil would come out of those needles, the smell that would fill the room is, or was, or it is if you still do it, whatever, absolutely amazing. So you can see I'm just swapping sides, no real pattern, just doing long thin stitches to give this sprig of pine tree image. There you go, just like that. And you can see, because it's variegated, it's all slightly different colours, which I love because it gives that natural element. And then when I get to the point that I think, well, the rest would be sort of stick, which is not often much of it because the needles tend to go all the way, I just stopped, popped in there, go all the way down there to pick up the centre line of the next one. That's all I did. Nothing hard, very straightforward, very simple. It's getting close to the time of day that's not night. Try not to say the word. It's getting close to lunchtime, so Madam's going to be down in a minute wanting some kind of food. Right, now that I've shown you what I'm doing and I've run out of this piece of thread, I think we'll do what we usually do. I think I'll put you on pause, I'll carry on stitching, and I'll come back when I've finished my pines and we can look at what else there is to do. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So while you were gone, goodness me, you were gone a long time, weren't you? Why were you not back in class sooner? I did all of my pine leaves. I then decided I was going to put in some of the berries. So I got my punch back out with some white felt and some brown stitch, and I just did an extra branch or two and put the white berries on down there and up here, and I've got a brown branch here just to finish off with you. So I think we're going to put one on here, and then where that's sort of hanging down low, it's because of the weight of 3, so we'll put 3 on that side. So I did exactly the same thing, just went through the little felt circle, because I love this. You're going to see this coming up everywhere now. I'm a bit addicted. Oops. So yeah. Anyway, what was I saying before I rudely disappeared on you? Oh, that how ready for Christmas are you all? and we were talking about Christmas trees and how, yeah, I'm growing mine, so that'll be coming in a few weeks. But what I was saying, and then I got carried away with the stitching, is that having never grown one before, I was really surprised to watch the way in which it actually grows. Now that may sound like a really weird thing to say, but how it grows like a little knobble, a bit like a Brussels sprout, and then from that knobble out come more branches. Absolutely fascinating. I really enjoyed watching that develop this year, and I'm stitching my hairs into this, don't laugh. So yeah, and I'm hoping that we can keep it going, and that will just, you know, be our tree now for forevermore, until I kill it, of course, because I do have a knack of killing things, well, plants, not people or animals or anything, you know, proper. But I do manage to kill plants. I don't know why. I'm just not very good at it for some reason. Having said that, 4 years ago, one, 2, 3, 4. 4 years ago, I took a cutting off of my poinsettia, one that I'd bought commercially, and I mean it. Oh, where's my other circle? There. One that I'd bought commercially, and I mean it wasn't obviously a brilliant one in that it didn't come from a garden centre or anything like that. It was just from Tesco's, I think, where I bought the food shop. But I took 4 cuttings from it. One for each of my daughters, one for my mum, and one for myself, just to see if I could grow it. And again, that was interesting because they all took and they all grew, but from the 4, 2 of them never had any red leaves on it ever. And I mean, one of them was only kept for 2 years. That was my mum's one. She never really did do Christmas. And my one never ever had red leaves on it, and yet my 2 daughters' ones had beautiful big red leaves. But so well have they done that mine and my eldest daughter's ones have now since become, as it were, second generation that has generated third generation for more plants that have gone off to other people. So yeah, I don't know. Obvious, and yet oddly, poinsettias are basically red. And I bought a lot of roses for my garden because I love roses, and the only ones that have thrived are red ones. So it seems like I can only grow things that are red, which is quite fortunate as I love poppies, despite my name being Purple Poppy. And actually I had a conversation with somebody recently that they didn't appreciate that purple poppy, the purple poppies, actually, you know, we have the red remembrance poppy in like November. The purple poppy is actually the animal version for all the dogs and horses that also gave their lives during wartime. So yeah, there you go. That's what a purple poppy stands for. Right, now, as you can see, this is super not straight, and it's super not straight through my petals. Now, I'm not worried about that because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a mat and a ruler, and my cutter, and we're going to straighten it up. And I know that means I'm going to cut through my stitching, but again, I'm not worried about that because I am going to put a binding on this. And so, I mean, really, I should have done it all, shouldn't I? Rather than cutting that other one by hand. It would have been straighter, but anyway. So I'm just going to snip all the way through there. There we go. That's got rid of that. Put that in the bin. So that's nice and straight now. And you'll realise probably already that I haven't got any wadding in my flap. Actually, we should straighten that up as well, shouldn't we? And the reason I haven't got any wadding in my flap is because I wanted a definite separation line. Now, actually, we fold that on there. That's a lot straighter than we think it is. So I'm just going to trim that little bit off there, like so. Okay, so I am going to put wadding in there, but I wanted it to be a separate piece so that it had that definite fold line. So I don't know, that's not going to be big enough. So I'm going to pull a piece from here. So I'm going to cut it there. It's not straight at all, is it? It's like terrible, but that's because these things I generally cut by hand. So let's just, I'm probably going to have to stand up again, am I? Oh no, not too bad. Snip this. Like I've picked up threads and everything. Right, get rid of that piece. And you see this piece. This is, I can't understand. Okay, it's because it's not actually on that fold, Claire. It's slightly under it. That's why. There you go. That makes more sense. Now get your ruler back up. And do not cut the fabric, because that would be a bit of a disaster at this stage, would it not? Right. Right. Okay. That's better. Look at that. So you do get there in the end. And then that is going to sit there, which is going to make sure that we get that nice proper fold. Because sometimes if you do it all with the wadding, it's just too bulky and it doesn't necessarily fold right. There you go. Happy, happy, happy. Right. So flip it back over, get some pins in there to hold that onto that flap area like so, and now I'm going to turn the whole thing inside out. So bring it up. Now I've got to work out where that fold was, but now that we've got that on there, we can see where that folds exactly. That's better. Okay, so I'm now going to sew up here. So there's one pin. And there is another pin. So I'm going to get myself a nice long piece of white thread, and I'm going to do, you've seen me do this before, I'm going to do a double running stitch. So which basically, I mean, I don't know what it's really called, but I'm not doing two parallel together like yellow lines on the road. I don't mean double running stitch like that. I mean, I'm going to run one way and then run the other way. So I suppose you could actually do it as a back stitch. I just find it easier doing it as a running stitch. So finding, you know, my corner, and I'm just going to come in. I don't want to go too far in, but then by the same token, we don't want to be too close to the edge that it can all fail. Okay, so I've got a nice anchor, and I'm just going to literally, oh, it's quite thick, which is another reason that probably I find it easiest to do like this. Make sure you've got it all lined up, and I've even managed, look, to get my plaid all but lined up. So I'm going to quickly put a pin in there before it moves. That I can guarantee you was more luck than judgment. Okay, so carrying on along here, and again, I'm not worried that I'm doing quite big stitches with quite big gaps, because I'm going to come back down the other side. I feel like we've probably been here forever, haven't we? But I'm quite happy stitching away, getting this finished, because that's what I've got set for today, really. I need to go and make a big pot of soup for dinner. Soup and crusty bread, you can't beat it, can you? Whoops. Where did that pin go? I severely hope it didn't go in my tea, coffee, which is on my lovely new placemat, my mug mat. If you saw my Friday video over on Ko-fi, you'll know what that's all about. I'll find that pin in a minute. Right, try not to flick that one clear. Put that one in the pot at least. Okay, so got to the end. Poke my needle through, turn it round and come back the other way. by doing that very last stitch that I didn't do on the other side. And then if you feel your gaps, you'll see that you've got continual stitch, almost as if it had been done on the sewing machine. If that makes sense. Sorry, I couldn't quite see what I was doing there. Plus I was listening to some chaos going out in the street. Oh. And then when I get to about here, I'll probably just do an over fixing stitch so that it can't stretch anymore. Then a little tiny stitch to hold that, and then go back and fill in my gaps. Now of course you could run this through the sewing machine. The oh my goodness, that is coffee, I promise. The sewing machine would tackle this with no problem at all, whereas it is quite hard on your hands. And you're not always dead straight by hand, but of course that's not a matter of life or death, is it? Okay. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through the other side, because obviously you now know exactly what I'm doing. This time I'm going over the top again and through the loop, just to really fix that. Okay, and then round the needle and off. Oh, they're a bit overkill, aren't they? A bit of thread. So as I say, I'm not going to make you sit through the other side, but I will just quickly turn it in so you can see. You can see a little bit of white stitching, but it's handmade. Poke your corner out. There you go. And for my lining, I'm going to make exactly the same thing. So I'll make another one of these without the wadding or the stitching, and then we'll put our edging on here and it will go inside. So where am I? Oh, I've been here 43 minutes. I probably should let you go, shouldn't I? I'll put you on hold and I'll get the lining done at least. Okay, I am finally back. It's been a good couple of hours. I've been off, I've had some lunch, da-di-da-di-da. Here I am. So I've sewn down both of these sides, as I showed you before. I've then taken my lining and sewn down the two sides in exactly the same way. But you'll see it's not even. That's because I want this as my binding. Okay, so that's ready to go inside. And then on this flap where we had the gap, I've added the lining again, but I've sewn it face to face all the way around those top three. And as you can see, it's miles too long. Okay, so we're going to turn all this now in the right way. I thought this grey and white stripe went very nicely with the red check and the Christmas stitching. And then, having poked all that through, turned it in the right way, we can see it in all its glory again. Make sure that you've got this lid lining folded down there, you know, pushed down there nice and in position, like so. Okay, like that. You could even put a couple of pins in it if you wanted to, just to make sure it stays in place. You can decide whether or not you would like to top stitch. And then the main lining we are putting with the long side to the front, to the decorative front. We're going to pop this inside and just lay it down. I know you can't really see what I'm doing. Try and put corner to corner, a bit like when you make a duvet, you know, when you make a bed with a duvet, corner to corner. Hold that, give it a good shake. Now, make sure that your back is lined up with your pattern. So you want, you know, I've got stripes. I need to make sure those stripes are lined up. So I'm just gonna, oh, that's not the best pin in the world. I'm just gonna put a couple of pins to hold that in place. Oops. If I could pick the pins up, I would. And there, to hold that in place. Okay. And now you can see we've got this bit hanging over the top. So what I'm going to do here, get rid of that pink thread, is put it taut, and then I'm just going to get just under half, lay it and lay it, and that unfortunately covers up all my berries. So shall we try and make it a little bit narrower? Let's fold it in half and then fold it over again. That's better. Still trying to keep my pattern match, and then pin that again, pin that. Oh, this is that dodgy pin. I want to throw this one away really. Right, so now you can see it's all lined inside. Okay, we can poke that good and proper into our corners, and there's our pouch. Now with regard to this back bit, we're basically going to do the same as we did at the front. So we're just going to get rid of, I've got to do it this way, I'm sorry if you can't see properly, but obviously I need to see. We're just going to pick it up almost like a needle turn, tuck it under, and that means that our lid lining or our flap lining is nicely under there. Everything is safe and secure. Not going to get any fraying or anything like that. We've got all of our lines lined up. We've got a little overhang there. That's fine. It's all nicely folded. And then when we've finished all of that, I'm going to run a seam, just a straight line down there all the way across, because what that's going to do is it's going to ensure, so just below, you know, where your wadding is, that's going to flap, because it's going to have this nice line across there. And there is my Christmas pouch. Soft, fluffy, the over matches the lid. It's all lined up and looks very professional. It's beautiful. So there you go. It's been a very, I'll leave it open so you can see it. It's been a very long video, but I needed to get it finished anyway, so it made sense, you know, to get it on film. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found joy and inspiration. Obviously, I'll iron out these black lines. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.